Welcome to Intelligent Growth, realized from Ngulam, where every week we deep dive into interesting topics for people working at media and tech. And today, well, we're plunging into an area that's not just interesting, it feels absolutely critical for the future of entertainment and technology. This is intelligent growth, realized. So, let's set the scene a bit. For years, right, we've watched these streaming wars unfold. It's been like a high-stakes blockbuster movie in itself. You've got studios, seemingly with bottomless pockets, pouring colossal sums, billions, really into creating more and more original content. And the idea, it seems simple enough, didn't it? More shows, more movies, more exclusives. That equals more subscribers, unwavering loyalty. Simple. Yet here's the twist, the paradox. Despite this huge content arms race, subscriber growth for most platforms is, well, stubbornly flattening out. It's this really perplexing situation that kind of defines the landscape we're exploring today. It hints that maybe beneath the surface there's a silent but pretty profound revolution already happening. So our deep dive today is squarely focused on generative AI in media. But let's be really clear from the start. We're not just looking at Gen AI as, another shiny new creative tool, like a cool gadget for filmmakers. No, this feels much more fundamental. We're talking about a complete rewiring, a ground-up re-architecture of the entertainment industry's entire economic engine. And our insights today, they're primarily drawn from Gulam's really illuminating article, Gen AI in Media, The Hidden Revolution Reshaping Entertainment Economics. It offers a compelling lens on these big shifts. Our mission, then, for this deep dive is to guide you through this pretty complex terrain. We're going to systematically unpack why those traditional strategies, the ones that worked before, are now failing to deliver the expected returns. We'll explore how a select few incredibly successful companies are strategically architecting their entire revenue models around AI, turning it from just a cost center into a real growth engine. And crucially, we'll examine what all of this means for the future of media and tech, particularly for you, our listener, as you navigate and maybe even shape this rapidly changing landscape.
Yeah, and what truly stands out here, I think, is that we're really compelled to look far beyond the obvious stuff, the flashy content budgets, the subscriber numbers everyone quotes. We need to peer into the why behind these huge shifts. It isn't just about identifying challenges, right? It's about understanding the underlying, often kind of invisible mechanisms that are either stifling growth or, for a select few, actually propelling it forward like never before. It's a compelling argument, really, that we're witnessing not just a technological upgrade, but a full-scale business model evolution.
Okay, let's unpack this with a concrete example, something that really brings the revolution into sharp focus. Imagine a mid-sized European studio. This is late 2023. They were caught in a really tough spot, facing what felt like an impossible choice. Their flagship fantasy series, this passion project they'd nurtured over 3 years of development, had already ballooned. We're talking a staggering $20 million budget before a single frame was even shot.
Wow, $20 million just in planning.
Exactly. You heard that right. $20 million just getting ready. That kind of pre-production spend. It can cripple a studio before they even start rolling. And the culprits behind this financial headache, well, they're probably all too familiar if you're in the industry. These insidious forces that just drain budgets and stretch timelines, they faced endless pre-production revisions, script changes, concept art tweaks, creative debates dragging on for months, sometimes over a year.
And the development spiral.
Precisely. Then came the costly international casting searches, a global treasure hunt, basically, to find the perfect talent across different continents. Think travel, accommodation, agency fees. It all adds up.
Big time.
And finally, there was this ambitious, incredibly expensive goal, creating the content in 12 different languages for a truly global rollout.
12 languages, that's huge.
Yeah, and each language needs its own complex dubbing, voice acting, localization. It's a logistical and financial nightmare. This studio was really between a rock and a hard place. Spend massively, maybe go broke, or make painful creative compromises that dilute their vision. But then something unexpected happened. Almost a last-ditch effort, really, born out of necessity and maybe a willingness to try something new. They implemented a single, highly focused, AI-powered workflow pilot. And the impact? Honestly, it was nothing short of transformational. This specialized AI solution, designed to plug into their existing systems, it slashed their pre-production timeline. Remember that 18 months?
Yeah.
Down to a mere 6 months.
Incredible, just like that.
Think about the sheer amount of time and cost compressed into that one change. It wasn't just automating tasks, it was intelligently streamlining decisions, finding bottlenecks, even providing creative options super fast. Can you describe a bit more about how this AI pilot actually worked? What was it doing, behind the scenes to get those results?
Absolutely. And it's important to understand, this wasn't just some simple software tool, right? This AI pilot was built on pretty advanced generative models. They could do several key things that collectively just sped everything up. So for example, in storyboarding and concept design, the AI could rapidly generate hundreds of visual iterations based on text prompts from the script.
Wow, okay.
This let the creative teams explore tons of different looks, character designs, scene compositions in just hours instead of weeks of manual artist time. It wasn't replacing the artist, mind you.
More like a super-powered assistant.
Exactly, giving them like a virtually infinite sketchpad and ideation partner. Then for script revisions, the AI could analyze narrative structures, maybe flag potential plot holes, suggest alternative dialogue, even do sentiment analysis on character interactions, all while keeping the core creative intent intact.
So it helps writers iterate faster.
Massively faster. They could focus on the emotional core while the AI handled some of the heavy lifting on structure and consistency. And about that localization, challenged the 12 languages.
Yeah, that sounded like a nightmare.
Well, the AI solution automated initial dubbing tests across all 12 target languages simultaneously.
Simultaneously, how?
It involved not just direct translation, but sophisticated neural networks. These could synthesize voices matching the emotional tone, even the approximate vocal range of the original actors. It could even predict and adjust lip sync, giving them rapid, high-fidelity prototypes of dubbed scenes.
So they could see what worked quickly.
Instantly. Assess linguistic fit, cultural nuances, overall quality, without waiting for expensive, slow human voiceover sessions for every single language up front. It gave immediate feedback on what needed human refinement. And for marketing, it used granular demographic data to generate personalized marketing assets, trailers, posters, social snippets for each specific territory.
So not just generic ads.
No, highly tailored campaigns that really resonated with local cultural nuances and preferences. Maximum impact.
That's truly incredible. So this intelligent intervention, what was the final outcome for the series? The outcome for the studio was, well, unprecedented. Thanks to the strategic use of GenAI, the series didn't just launch on schedule, avoiding those crippling delays that can kill a project. It actually generated an astounding 40% more revenue per territory than they had originally projected.
40% more, wow.
Yeah. It wasn't just a success, it was a runaway hit that fundamentally redefined what they thought was possible: efficiency, creative output, and ultimately the financial return. That single pilot really transformed their understanding.
And what's truly fascinating here, I think, is that this transformation reveals a startling truth. It goes way beyond just one success story. The real revolution isn't just about what you finally see on screen, the polished final movie or show. Instead, it's profoundly about how that content gets made, how it's efficiently distributed globally to diverse audiences, and maybe most importantly, how it's monetized to its absolute fullest potential. This example just vividly shows that GenAI isn't simply changing creative processes in isolation.
Right.
It's fundamentally rewiring the entire economic engine of entertainment, optimizing every single stage of the value chain from the very first idea all the way through to how you make money from the finished product. It's a complete paradigm shift, really, in operational and financial strategy.
Okay, so this brings us perfectly to this pervasive and honestly deeply troubling puzzle that's keeping C-suite folks across media awake at night. The streaming plateau mystery. Despite this unprecedented volume of content being churned out, this relentless content arms race most streaming platforms, they're seeing subscriber growth just flatten out, stubbornly flat. And at the same time, their content costs just keep climbing relentlessly. It creates this highly unsustainable financial model. It really begs the question, are we just throwing good money after bad here? And to really underscore the struggle, let's look at some concrete, kind of eye-popping examples. Netflix, right, the pioneer, reportedly spent a staggering $15 billion on content in 2025.
$15 billion. That's hard to even fathom.
It is. And Disney, plus its major competitor, invested an even more massive $30 billion in its content library.
$30 billion.
Yet, despite these colossal sums, both platforms have openly struggled with increasing churn rates. Churn where viewers sign up but then leave pretty quickly. That points directly to a critical issue: market saturation.
Yeah, the bucket's full.
Exactly. It suggests that just throwing more content at the problem isn't getting the results anymore. It's like trying to fill an already overflowing bucket. You just waste resources without increasing capacity. Viewers are overwhelmed, not necessarily more satisfied.
And, if we connect this to the bigger picture, The mystery around this streaming plateau, it gets even deeper when we look at who's actually winning in the current landscape. It's becoming clearer and clearer that it's not necessarily the platforms with the biggest budgets or the most glossy, multi-million-dollar originals that are grabbing the most attention and, crucially, the most viewing hours.
So who is winning then?
Well, think about platforms like TikTok and YouTube. These are powered mostly by user-generated content, right? Not huge studio productions. Their core strength. It lies in using highly sophisticated, AI-driven personalization algorithms.
Okay.
And the result? They consistently capture more viewing hours than many traditional streaming services. This highlights a really critical, almost counterintuitive shift in what viewers want. They seem to prioritize immediate discovery, hyper-relevance, and this continuous stream of fresh, often bite-sized content tailored exactly to their tastes. The AI is like a perpetual curator, keeping them engaged.
Interesting. So it's not just about big originals.
Not entirely, no. And furthermore, we're seeing success stories from studios that have strategically embraced AI for things like advanced localization and intelligent content repurposing. These strategies aren't necessarily about creating new stuff from scratch, which we know is expensive and slow.
Yeah.
Instead, they're about transforming existing assets, older films, TV series, even raw footage into new, really engaging formats. Think about taking a full-length movie and intelligently breaking it down into micro-dramas for social media feeds, or curating specific clips for personalized ads.
Reusing what you already have.
Exactly. And these companies have seen revenue uplifts of 20–30% without proportional increases in their content investment. That's a game changer. It shows that getting maximum value from what you already own can be way more effective and certainly more sustainable than just chasing the next expensive original.
That's a really profound point. It completely flips the traditional content strategy on its head, doesn't it? And to put some really compelling numbers on that, we're seeing this powerful, quick win with automated localization. Studios implementing AI-powered dubbing and subtitle generation. They're reporting significant figures, around 50% cost reductions per territory.
Half the cost.
Imagine having the expense of adapting your content for a new market. And even more impressively, they're seeing time-to-market improvements of 60% for international launches.
60% faster.
Yeah. Getting content to global audiences, not just cheaper, but dramatically faster. That fundamentally changes your global reach and speed. So if you're listening, maybe you're a creator and executive grappling with budgets or just interested in this space, what does all this mean for you? The counterintuitive outcome here seems profoundly clear. Success in this new era isn't about creating more content. That strategy is proving expensive, inefficient, and ultimately ineffective for sustainable growth. Instead, it's about creating smarter distribution and monetization systems. Systems that can efficiently and effectively multiply the value of your existing assets and any new content you create. It's about working smarter, with strategic precision, not just harder with bigger libraries. Now, let's zoom in a bit on where many traditional strategies are just, well, failing to keep pace with this hidden revolution. One of the most dangerous assumptions, and many executives operated under this for years, some still do, is the belief that more original content automatically equals more subscriber retention and higher revenues.
The "if you build it, they will come" fallacy applied to content.
Pretty much. This deep-seated thinking fueled what many are now calling a content arms race, leading to that mind-boggling $240 billion global content spending spree we mentioned. But the stark reality, as we've discussed, is that this massive investment is delivering rapidly diminishing returns. It's getting less and less efficient at driving growth and often just leads to content fatigue for viewers.
Yeah, and this raises a really important question, one that challenges those long-held beliefs. What does the data actually tell us about this content volume trap? The industry analysis from Gangulum's article paints a very different picture from that assumption. It clearly shows that streaming platforms with the highest content volume don't necessarily have the lowest churn rates.
Really, so more isn't always better.
Not necessarily. In fact, sometimes the sheer volume can ironically contribute to what psychologists call the paradox of choice, or just content overload. For the viewer, this means trouble finding something good, decision fatigue, and ultimately a diluted sense of value, which can lead to dissatisfaction and higher churn.
Makes sense. Too much choice is paralyzing.
Exactly. Instead, the data suggests success lies in optimizing for three critical factors. First, personalization, making content highly relevant and easily discoverable for individual viewers. Second, localization speed, getting content to diverse global audiences quickly and authentically. And third, cross-platform content adaptation, making sure content works well everywhere, from a big TV to a vertical phone screen.
So it's about relevance, speed, and flexibility.
Precisely. Those are the powerful levers that truly drive stronger financial metrics, engagement, and retention, not just the raw number of shows in the library.
And it's not just about the volume of content, is it? There's also this significant distribution blind spot in traditional media thinking. The conventional approach is still very linear, almost like an assembly line. Create content, secure distribution deals, often blanket global ones, launch it, measure success almost solely by subscriber additions.
Right, the old model.
But that model, while it worked historically in a simpler media world, completely misses the potentially multiplicative effects of AI-enhanced distribution. AI can dynamically adjust how content reaches which audience at what time, tailored to their preferences. The old model feels static in a dynamic world. Let me give you a really compelling, maybe cautionary example from the source material. Think about the near miss of a major streaming platform's big European expansion in 2023. They invested a massive $500 million in original local content, specifically commissioned for European audiences. They thought this was their key to unlock the market.
$500 million. That's a big
A
bet.
huge bet. Yet despite that colossal investment, they really struggled to gain traction and meet their subscriber targets. And why? It wasn't just one thing. Their recommendation algorithms, probably designed for their home market, weren't properly optimized for the nuanced regional preferences within Europe. What works in Germany might not fly in Italy, right?
Yeah, Europe isn't monolithic.
Exactly. Their ad tech couldn't handle the dynamic personalization needed for such diverse language and cultural markets, leading to generic, often ignored ads, and crucially, their content discovery systems. They failed to effectively surface those relevant local titles to the right audience segments. So that expensive local content often went undiscovered.
So the investment was there, but the delivery mechanism failed.
Precisely. It highlights how a linear, one-size-fits-all distribution strategy, even with massive content spending, just doesn't cut it anymore in a world craving hyper-relevance. Okay, so let's pivot now. Let's look at the more optimistic side, at how forward-thinking studios are truly leveraging generative AI. They're discovering that GenAI's real power isn't about replacing human creativity. That's a common misconception and a source of understandable worry.
Definitely a concern out there.
Instead, it's about profoundly amplifying creative output, expanding the scope of what's possible, and significantly accelerating their time to revenue. It's about making the whole process, creation, distribution, monetization, faster, more efficient, more adaptive, and ultimately far more profitable.
Exactly. And this isn't just theory, right? We're seeing tangible data-backed impacts across the entire content lifecycle. It touches every stage, from the first idea to the final viewing. Let's start with the pre-production revolution. We heard about this with the European studio example. It can be a massive bottleneck. GenAI is transforming this phase with AI-assisted storyboarding and script writing tools.
How much impact are we talking?
These tools are dramatically reducing development cycles by an incredible 40–50%.
40 to 50%, that's huge.
It is. How? By rapidly generating concept art variations, suggesting alternative narrative paths, optimizing dialogue pacing, even identifying potential continuity errors. Creative teams can explore hundreds of ideas in the time it used to take for maybe dozens. They iterate faster, refine their vision more efficiently, and bring a much more polished concept to the next stage. Think of the creative freedom that gives them.
Without the usual time and cost constraints.
Moving into production efficiency, the impact is still profound. We're seeing the rise of virtual production environments, digital sets, characters manipulated in real time on huge LED screens, blending with physical elements.
Like in The Mandalorian.
Exactly like that. Combined with real-time VFX generation where effects are rendered as you film, these techs are cutting on-set cost by 20–30%.
Yeah.
And it's not just saving money on sets or location shoots, it allows incredible creative freedom. Directors can instantly change lighting, backgrounds, time of day without all the logistical headaches and costs of traditional methods. It kind of democratizes creating stunning visuals.
Makes high-end production more accessible.
Then we get to post-production transformation.
Yeah.
This area is historically known for being super time-consuming, labor-intensive, a big cost center. With GenAI, automated editing, intelligent color grading, sophisticated sound mixing, they're compressing post-production timelines by 30–40%.
30 to 40% faster in post.
Yeah. AI can do initial rough cuts, identify the best takes, correct color inconsistencies, even generate ambient sound based on visual cues. But crucially, this doesn't eliminate human editors or sound engineers.
Right, it frees them up.
Exactly. They're no longer bogged down by tedious first cuts or repetitive tasks. Their invaluable creative energy goes into finessing the narrative, enhancing emotion, experimenting artistically, really elevating the vision. It empowers human creativity by offloading the grunt work. In distribution optimization, the changes are equally profound, very impactful. Adapting content for multiple platforms, widescreen TV, vertical phone, square social feed, interactive formats used to be laborious, manual.
A real headache.
Totally. Now, dynamic content formatting powered by AI means this adaptation happens in hours, not weeks. AI can intelligently crop, resize, even re-edit segments for different aspect ratios and platform needs, ensuring the best viewing experience everywhere.
So content gets everywhere faster.
Much faster, maximizing its reach and accessibility across today's fragmented landscape, without huge increases in post-production costs. And finally, for monetization innovation, GenAI is a true game changer. It's opening up entirely new revenue streams. Personalized ad insertion, where ads are dynamically placed and tailored to individual viewer profiles in real time, coupled with real-time audience segmentation. That's boosting ad revenues by an impressive 25–35%.
Wow. That's significant.
It is, and it's way beyond generic ad breaks. Imagine AI knowing you like travel, then seamlessly inserting a relevant travel ad into your show, maybe even matching the show style.
Less intrusive, more relevant.
Exactly. It's far more effective for advertisers, generates higher CPMs for content owners. It transforms advertising from an interruption into something potentially valuable.
What's really crucial to understand here, I think, is that this isn't just a tweak here or there. It's not a slight improvement in one isolated part of the pipeline. This is a truly fundamental overhaul of how value is created, amplified, and critically captured across the whole media ecosystem. It's a holistic end-to-end shift that really changes the games. It's about building a more resilient, agile, profitable engine for entertainment.
Okay, this really brings us to perhaps the most counterintuitive, yet maybe the most important insight reshaping media economics right now. GenAI's transformative power. It's truly unleashed not just by the tech itself, which is impressive, no doubt, but by the strategic revenue architecture that surrounds and leverages it. This is a crucial distinction, one that many companies seem to miss initially.
Yeah, it's easy to focus just on the shiny tool.
Right. Most media companies, when they first approach AI, they treat it mainly as a cost-cutting tool. Use it to automate editing, reduce production expenses, thinking only about operational efficiency. And look, those gains are valuable, but they're really only scratching the surface of what's possible. Exactly. What's fascinating here is that the real winners, the companies seeing that significant growth we talked about, they aren't just implementing AI tools in isolation. They are fundamentally architecting their entire revenue engine around AI capabilities. That's a crucial pivot in mindset.
So it's deeper than just efficiency.
Much deeper. It's not merely about making content faster or cheaper. It's about leveraging AI to create dynamic, personalized, multi-platform revenue streams that honestly didn't even exist before. Think about the difference, right? A company focused on cost-cutting might use AI to automate dubbing, save some money. A company focused on revenue architecture uses that same AI dubbing to rapidly localize content for dozens of new, maybe smaller, untapped markets. Simultaneously, they personalize marketing for each market, insert target ads, and then use AI to track audience engagement in real time to optimize pricing and distribution models for maximum yield in each place.
That's a much more holistic approach.
It is. It transforms AI from just a tool into the foundational layer of a new, much more agile and responsive business model. It's about designing a system where every piece of content at every stage is optimized for maximum value extraction.
So for those companies still kind of stuck in that more content is better mindset, what happens if they don't develop this kind of AI-driven revenue architecture?
Well, that's precisely why those traditional more content strategies often fail now, especially without this underlying revenue architecture. When you just produce more content without the sophisticated systems to optimally distribute, personalize, and monetize it using AI, that extra content quickly becomes an expensive liability, not a growth driver.
Just sitting there, cost of money.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's like building a massive state-of-the-art factory but having no sales or marketing infrastructure to sell what it makes. You just pile up inventory that doesn't generate revenue. The goal has to shift fundamentally from content output to content value maximization, making every creative asset work harder and smarter for you. And those companies that are seeing these impressive 40–50% revenue uplifts from their AI integration, they share three very distinct interconnected characteristics. Worth highlighting these for you, our listener, to think about in your own context. First, they have a unified data infrastructure. This isn't just scattered data points in different departments. Imagine the whole business content, marketing, finance, distribution acting like a single, interconnected, intelligent brain.
Breaking down the silos.
Completely. Every bit of information a viewer's click, a show's performance in Vietnam, market trends in Europe, ad click-through rates, all feeds into this central intelligence hub. This integrated AI-accessible data platform lets AI see the whole picture, understand complex links, and make truly informed, connected decisions across the entire value chain, not just optimizing one little piece. It's the nervous system of the new media company. Second, they have agile revenue operations. This means empowered cross-functional teams structured to rapidly test, iterate, and scale new monetization approaches.
So they can move fast.
Very fast. They're not waiting for slow top-down directives.
Mm.
These teams constantly experiment, new pricing, new distribution channels, new ad strategies. They use AI to analyze results in real time and adapt quickly based on data. This agility is absolutely essential in today's fast-evolving digital world where things can change overnight. It's about being nimble enough to grab opportunities. And third, maybe most critical, is strategic leadership. This means having executives who truly get that AI transformation requires a fundamental business model evolution, not just some operational efficiency gains.
Seeing the bigger picture.
Exactly. These leaders see AI not just as tech to bolt on, but as a strategic imperative to redefine how they create value and capture revenue. They champion the necessary organizational changes, foster a culture of experimentation and data-driven decisions. This top-down vision drives the architectural changes needed to really embed AI at the core.
And that's where things like specialized revenue growth management consulting or strategic fractional sales leadership can become absolutely critical, right? These external partners can provide that needed strategic framework, the execution discipline. They help organizations bridge the gap between what's technologically possible and the business reality. They make sure AI investments aren't just theoretical, but actually translate into measurable, tangible revenue impact. Connecting the tech directly to the bottom line, ensuring these architectural changes stick. So this fundamental shift, it has profound, immediate implications, especially for C-suite leaders in media and entertainment. For them, the old playbooks aren't just becoming outdated, they're rapidly turning into significant liabilities. This goes way beyond just operational efficiency. It touches the core of how organizations are structured, how talent is used, and ultimately how they generate sustainable revenue long term.
Yeah, and if we connect this to the bigger picture, it becomes really clear that traditional media organizations are historically built around linear production workflows. Think about it.
Yeah.
Script to pre-pro to production to post through a rigid distribution pipe, then to the consumer. It's a classic conveyor belt.
Sequential, often siloed.
Exactly.
Mhm.
But AI-enabled workflows, they demand something totally different. Cross-functional collaboration right from the start, real-time decision-making, constant data-driven iteration across all stages. Companies that don't evolve their structures to support this new, dynamic way of working will inevitably find their big AI investments delivering minimal returns. They'll have the tech, but lack the operational agility, the internal pathways, the collaborative culture to really leverage it. The most successful transformations we're seeing often involve creating hybrid teams.
What do those look like?
They seamlessly combine traditional creative expertise, the storytellers, writers, directors, artists, with deep data science capabilities. This ensures creative decisions are informed by data, and data insights are applied within a nuanced creative context. It's the best of both worlds. And often, these transformations are supported by strategic fractional leadership.
Bringing in outside expertise.
Yeah, specialized, senior-level expertise on demand. They help navigate the creative nuances and the complex tech and business model requirements, bridging gaps between departments, skills, and silos, bringing in the right expertise at the right moment for big change.
And beyond just structure, there's this massive revenue model revolution happening. Many traditional studios, maybe clinging to subscription-only models, seem to be completely missing out on new ways to make money that are right there.
Absolutely. One of the biggest shifts is the meteoric rise of fast-free, ad-supported television and AVOD, advertising-based video on demand. These aren't just free TV. They're powered by incredibly sophisticated AI personalization engines that tailor content and ads dynamically.
And they can make more money than subscriptions.
What's fascinating is when properly optimized with that intelligent revenue architecture, yes, they can actually generate higher per-viewer revenues than pure subscription models sometimes.
Yeah.
Because the ads are so targeted, relevant, seamlessly integrated, advertisers pay a premium, and viewers are more engaged, less annoyed. This is a direct, powerful challenge to subscription-only dominance, especially as getting new subscribers gets more expensive. Another powerful route, tying back to what we said earlier, is AI-enabled content repurposing. Think about a single feature film. Maybe it had a limited run, or it's just sitting in a library. AI can transform it into tons of new revenue streams.
How so?
AI can intelligently segment it, turn it into engaging, short-form social content, pull highlights for promos on different platforms, even create personalized trailers based on someone's viewing history.
Tailored trailers, that's cool.
Yeah, it opens up entirely new incremental revenue streams with minimal extra content investment. You're not just making more, you're maximizing the value of every asset you already own, squeezing every drop of potential from your library.
Of course, we have to acknowledge there are unique and very real challenges with AI adoption in entertainment. There are legitimate union concerns about potential job displacement that needs careful thought, proactive solutions.
Absolutely critical to address.
There are complex IP questions around AI-generated content ownership, copyright, and there are audience authenticity expectations. People want to know if something is human-created or AI-assisted, the ethics around that. All these factors create a tough risk-reward calculation for leaders.
Which really raises the crucial question for any leader right now. What's the greater risk in this fast-moving landscape? The competitive risk of not adopting AI-enhanced workflows is proving to be far greater, far more financially damaging than the inherent risks of adoption.
Yeah.
The industry is just moving too fast to hesitate.
The cost of inaction is higher.
It's much higher. Companies delaying AI integration are quickly finding themselves at a significant compounding disadvantage. They face higher per-unit content costs because they're missing AI efficiencies. They have longer time-to-market cycles, slower to react, slower to localize, slower to get content out. And critically, they have a reduced ability to compete with agile, AI-native platforms and creators who are already embracing these methods and rapidly gaining share. The cost of inaction in this environment, it's simply too high. It feels like a strategic imperative now, not just a tech choice.
So we arrive at what might feel like a surprising yet undeniably clear conclusion from this deep dive. This media revolution, this hidden current reshaping entertainment economics. It isn't fundamentally about how sophisticated the AI tools are, although, let's be honest, they are incredibly impressive.
They really are.
But instead, it's about the profound strategic discipline required to harness them effectively, to truly integrate them into your business model in a way that generates exponential value.
Exactly. You can really see two distinct paths emerging for media companies right now at this critical point. Those treating AI as just another production tool, maybe automating a few tasks. They'll likely see only modest efficiency gains, save a bit of money, streamline a process or two, but probably won't fundamentally change their growth path.
Incremental change.
Right, but those companies that are truly reimagining their entire value chain around AI capabilities, from the very first spark of an idea through production, post, all the way to dynamic distribution and revenue optimization, every step. Those are the ones who will define and dominate the next era of entertainment economics. They'll be the new leaders, the real innovators.
And this brings us right to the critical decision facing media leaders today. It's really not a question of whether to adopt AI anymore. That ship has sailed. AI is here, it's staying, it's only getting more powerful. The real strategic decision is whether to build the strategic revenue architecture that makes AI truly transformative for your business, allowing it to drive growth, innovation, new revenue streams, rather than just remaining an operational tool for efficiency. It's about moving beyond just using the tools to fundamentally redesigning how you do business with those tools at the core.
So for any media enterprise ready to move beyond just incremental improvements, ready for fundamental, sustainable transformation, the path ahead requires much more than just plugging in technology. It demands robust strategic revenue operations, fostering genuinely cross-functional leadership that breaks down those old silos, and cultivating the organizational agility to continuously adapt monetization models as AI itself rapidly evolves.
It's an ongoing journey.
Absolutely. Not a one-time project. It's a dynamic journey of strategic evolution. And discovering how specialized consulting or fractional leadership can align your AI investments with measurable revenue impact. That's crucial for turning those quick wins into sustainable competitive advantages in this new landscape. Hashtag outro.
As we wrap up this deep dive into generative AI in media, the core insight we really want you to take away is this: success in this new era of media economics. It belongs not to those with the biggest content budgets or even necessarily the most sophisticated AI tools. Instead, it belongs to those who strategically architect their revenue engines to multiply the value of both their existing assets and their future creations. Understanding that technology is a lever, but that strategy is the engine.
Yeah, the question isn't really whether GenAI will reshape entertainment. That transformation is happening all around us incredibly fast.
Yeah.
It's whether you'll proactively shape that transformation in your own sphere or just end up being shaped by it.
We really hope this deep dive into Gen AI and media has given you some crucial insights, maybe sparked some new ideas, perhaps even challenged a few old assumptions. If you found this discussion valuable, please do take a moment to like and subscribe to Intelligent Growth. Realized, your support genuinely helps us continue bringing you these in-depth explorations and unpacking the hidden revolutions shaping our world. Until next time, keep thinking about the hidden architecture shaping our world and how you can be part of building them.